7 things that happen to you when you pray consistently at midnight. Have you ever woken up at midnight and found yourself drawn to prayer in these early hours between 3 to 5 a.m. and you wondered if it means anything? Do you know that midnight is a special time, a still sacred hour when the world quiets down? According to the Bible, the midnight is always a time of breakthrough, freedom, and miracles. So when you commit to consistent midnight prayers, you are stepping into a powerful space with God. And here are 7 powerful life-changing things that can start happening when you wake up at midnight and you make midnight prayer a part of your life. Number 1 thing that happens when you pray consistently in midnight prayers will help you gain spiritual strength and boldness. Do you know that praying at midnight takes dedication? It's not something so easy to do, but it takes dedication because it is a secret of choosing God over sleep. They're just saying to sleep, oh, you sleep, get behind. I choose God than you. Despite my rough days, the hurdles of the days, and the stress of the days, yet I choose God. Sleep, get behind me. That is exactly what praying at midnight means. Because praying at midnight takes dedication, because it is a sacrifice of choosing God over sleep, choosing God over comfort, or even over conveniences. When you pray consistently at midnight, you are not just wasting your time. You are building yourself spiritually. You are spiritually working out, building strength and courage in your faith. So when you pray consistently at midnight, you are training your soul to endure and overcome life challenges, making yourself to be bolder and more perseverance in the face of challenges. Do you know that when you pray consistently at midnight, you will no longer experience fear or be afraid to speak up or to face challenges or to step into new opportunities, because the spiritual strength from midnight splits over into your daily life and helping you to feel God's courage even in difficult moments. For example, let's assume that you are an athlete. Imagine you going to gym each day, lifting little and just increasing in lifting weight each day. Each time you go to gym, at first it feels so hard. You may even be discouraged to quit, but eventually your strength grows as you persevere and persist in practicing the same thing every day. Do you know that that is how midnight prayers build your spiritual strength? In the same way, number 2 thing that happens to you when you start praying consistently at midnight, you break spiritual chains and bondages. Do you know that midnight prayer is a powerful time to confront the things that is holding you back, either habits, thoughts, or even spiritual forces? In Acts chapter 16, verse 25 and 26, at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed and sang praises, and at midnight, their chains broke. So when you pray at midnight, you are entering into a time of spiritual warfare, declaring freedom over any bondage in your life. And this could be freedom over a negative habit, freedom over a pattern of worry. Maybe when you are worried, even if people are trying to encourage you or people are trying to talk to you, you find it very difficult to control that emotion of anxiety at that time. But as you pray consistently at midnight, all those things will leave you. Midnight prayer can also give you freedom from anything that feels like it is keeping you from moving forward. Just imagine someone battling with negative thoughts or struggling with addiction. As they commit to midnight prayers, you see that they'll begin to find themselves breaking free one after the other, little by little, from those patterns that might be holding them, keeping them from having a deeper and closer relationship with God. Though those changes may come slowly, but they are being released from those chains that once held them back. They begin to think things that are clearer and begin to take action that sets them at liberty, as if God is untying or losing their life from every negativities that has been holding them back. Think of midnight prayer like escape key on a computer. which allows you to break free from anything that tries to lock you up in spiritual places. Number 3 things that happen to you when you start praying consistently at midnight is that when you pray consistently at midnight, you begin to experience deeper intimacy with God. Beloved, do you know that midnight is a unique time to connect with God because there is no rush? Maybe because you have to meet up a schedule, nothing like some house calls to do, no distractions. It is just you and God. Because these quiet hours allows you to hear God's whisper, to experience His presence in ways that might be hard during the day. If you wake up between 3 to 5 a.m., it is like you sitting down with a close friend in a calm setting when you can talk openly, listen deeply, and feel a greater bond growing in. That is how midnight prayers are. It draws you closer to God, making you to have a deeper intimacy unto your perfection. Now imagine you had a busy day, taking care of your family and other things, working long hours throughout the day. But at midnight, you set up a quiet time to sit with God, to reflect, pray, and feel His presence deeply. Beloved, over time, you are doing this. It will feel like in you are building a true friendship with God. And this will help make you to become confident and closet companion with God. Number 4 things you should expect if you start praying consistently at midnight. When you pray at midnight, you activate divine protection and covering over your life and destiny. Midnight prayer is a powerful way to pray for protection over your family, your home, your mind, and your heart. Beloved, knowing that we are living in a world where we are constantly aware of dangers and uncertainties, do you know that praying during midnight hours can be a powerful way to seek God's covering and protection over our lives, families, and even destinies? Also, praying consistently in the midnight is like placing a spiritual shield around yourself. When you pray constantly at midnight, it's like you locking all the doors of your house before going to sleep, whereby you are sure of divine protection and knowing you have done everything to keep your family safe. That is how midnight prayers are. Midnight prayer locks the door of your heart and mind from fear and worries that can hinder you from having peaceful night rest and placing you under God's care. Number 5 things that happens when you pray consistently at midnight is that you receive clarity, wisdom, and directions when you pray at midnight. As you pray at midnight, you build your relationship with God, and God goes on to be with you and to reveal things that are kept secret to you. So midnight is a time when your mind is quiet and open, making it easier for you to hear God. Making it easier for you to hear from God without distractions. Midnight prayer is also a time when God often speaks through insight, thought, or even through a calm sense of direction, giving you peace that assures you that indeed God is the one who is behind this. So if you're looking for answers or clarity, midnight prayer can become a time of spiritual downloads where you receive wisdom and guidance that aligns with God's plan. Number 6 thing that happens when you pray at midnight. When you pray at midnight, you build faith and expectations for miracles. Do you know that praying at midnight builds anticipation in your heart? If you are actively waiting on God, expecting Him to move, midnight time is the best time to create a deep sense of faith that will remind you that God can do the impossible. So midnight is symbolic of hope, and by praying at this hour, you are overcoming challenges and welcoming miracles and trusting in God's power. Now imagine you praying for financial breakthrough or healing, and every night you go to God believing that He will certainly provide for you or He will certainly heal you. You will find yourself expecting God to work in your life, and this belief fuels your hope and persistence. Thereby, when you see answers, your faith grows even stronger. Why? Because you have already built your most holy faith during your consistent conversation with God. Think of it like a farmer planting seeds in faith even before the rain come. Midnight prayer is planting seed of faith, expecting that God will bring a harvest in his perfect time. Number 7 things that happen when you pray consistently at midnight is that when you pray consistently at midnight, you tap into God's timing and power for breakthrough. One thing you should not forget is that midnight prayer represents a change from night to day, from darkness to light. And it is a time that symbolizes new beginnings, marking a shift from past struggles to new hope. When you pray at midnight, you will experience God opening new doors that will align with your timing for growth. Midnight prayers connect you to God's timing, assuring you that God will bring light into your situation. Midnight prayer can be your time of spiritual growth, protection, and breakthrough. And midnight prayer can transform your life as you draw closer to God. And I suggest that you keep a notebook nearby to record your experiences, encounters, or moments of clarity, turning each midnight session into a sacred time of personal transformation and divine connection with God. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking this video and sharing. I will see you in the next one. I am your sister and your friend, Evangelist Charity. Stay blessed.